Rivers APC, led by Chief Tony Okocha, says it cannot obey the ruling of the Rivers State High Court, which nullified its congresses because it is a procured judgment and does not have any locus standing when the Superior Court speaks. Speaking during an interview at the weekend, spokesperson of the party, Chibuike Ikenga, said they got an order from the appeal court directing them to go ahead with the congresses, stressing that the State High Court cannot override the appeal court. He also said there is a subsisting judgment of the Supreme Court which says that courts are barred from interfering in the internal affairs of political parties. Ikenga said, "There's a procured judgment and does not have any locus when the Superior Court speaks. Those are procured from Rivers State High Court. So can that override the position of the appeal court? Can it override the position of the Supreme Court? We have a judgment that said we should go ahead and do our congresses from the Court of Appeal." The question we are asking is, how come a State High Court has the power to override the Superior Courts? It doesn't have the powers. It is a political jamboree from the Rivers State High Court, particularly from some of those judges. There is a subsisting judgment, a Court of Appeal judgment, which gave us a clean bill to go ahead with our congresses. I also told you that there is a subsisting judgment of the Supreme Court which says that courts are barred from interfering in the internal affairs of political parties. That's the Supreme Court's decision. What do you make of this story, Okechukwu?
I think for me, I'd rather start in a very satirical or proverbial manner.
All right.
Before a blind man says he or she will stone you, know that that blind person is either stepping on a stone, has a stone in his pocket, either holding the stone in his hand, and the person knows the direction from which you are speaking. So to cast a stone on you will be very easy. Is it for Chibuike Ikenga to come up with things like this? Ordinary common sense knowledge should tell everyone that Court of Appeal overrides the state or federal high court. So for that singular fact, for me, I strongly believe that he is in line with the rule of law, because democracy is properly governed by the rule of law. And once the rule of law speaks, every other thing gives way. Without the rule of law, democracy will be in total danger. So for there to be a subsisting Court of Appeal order or judgment, I don't see why a state high court could also give a judgment for a matter that has been taken care of by an appeal court. And there's also a subsisting judgment at the Supreme Court level. So for me, I wonder the kind of academic exercise or jamboree some of these state high courts really engage in.
Now, the thing here is, yes, there was an appeal court, a ruling that actually vacated the initial order. There were two cases, or there are two cases here. First of all, there was a case at the Federal High Court. And then the APC went to the Court of Appeal. They appealed the matter, and they were able to get the appeal court to vacate the order of the Federal High Court, barring that the APC Congress from happening. But after that happened, two other persons, I think two or three people, now went to Rivers State High Court on a different prayer now. And their argument or their grounds with the congresses was that they bought form, or they paid for form, they paid for form, and they were not given the forms, and they were disenfranchised from contesting while they paid for the forms, and they prayed the court to stop that Congress from holding. And then the State High Court went ahead to bar that Congress from holding. So now there was a first ban from the Federal High Court, which APC appealed and got appeal courts to vacate. After that, few days to the congresses, this one now came. The second one came. Now, this is the one that they did not vacate. And, Ikenga is saying that there was already, an appeal court ruling or order that allowed them, that vacated that judgment. But was this one vacated? That would be the question.
Okay, at this point, I think let's allow the court in its wisdom decide what will happen. Because whatever we say here now, it's more like a personal opinion based on our own perception. Matters are in court. If matters are in court, let's allow the court do robust litigation. And at the end of the day, let's see how it goes.
The question is that, Yes, matters are in court, and but then the actors are not slowing down. Have you ever seen so far, even between political parties, PDP now is still going through the same thing. Recently, there was a judgment, annulling the state congresses from holding, just like it happened in APC's case. And both of them are having similar issues.
Well, for me, let the court decide. The court of first instance has already given judgment. Everybody has a right of appeal. And once you get your right of appeal, the next thing is stay of execution. Then you go to the court of appeal. Let's allow the court. I always tell people that democracy, the beauty of democracy is the rule of law. And once the rule of law is in place, it puts proper checks and balances on the actors and dramatic personnel. So whatever we say here now, it's like a personal opinion. And I belong to that school of thought that once matters are in court, there are some things you don't say, otherwise it turns out to be prejudicial.